Hello all. Today we will discuss thermal cycle fatigue of ceramic plate. What is thermal cycle fatigue? It is a specific type of fatigue failure mechanism induced by cyclic stresses from repetitive fluctuations in the temperature of equipment. The degree of damage is affected by the magnitude and frequency of the temperature swings. Damage typically appears in the form of one or more cracks at the surface of component. Ceramic materials are widely used as structural members in high temperature applications due to their high melting points and good mechanical strength. However, these materials fail when subjected to sudden change in temperature or on repeated cycling between two temperatures. The sudden change in surrounding temperature generates temperature gradient, thereby the ceramic body experiences thermal stress. The failure occurs when thermal stress exceeds the strength of material. When a ceramic material is heated suddenly from room temperature, the surface of material attains high temperature in a very short time. The surface expands and experiences compressive stress. However, the interior of sample still remains at low temperature and expands less than the surface. Therefore, the interior experiences tensile stress. In contrast, on cooling, the surface experiences tensile stress while the interior experiences compressive stress. During the process of fast heating or cooling, the temperature differences and thermal stress change with time rapidly before they reach a constant difference. The thermal stress experienced by a material depends on the rate of heating or cooling. Therefore, it is appropriate to test these materials for thermal shock or thermal fatigue resistance under simulated conditions before actual use. This is a sample laboratory setup in which the authors have considered heating lamp as a heater and they are using fan for cooling. The hot set point is considered to be 50 degrees Celsius and the low set point is considered as the ambient temperature, which may be around 27 degrees Celsius. But remember one thing, this is a laboratory test condition, hence the hot set point is given as 50 degrees Celsius, whereas in actual scenario the temperatures can be more than 1000 degrees Celsius. In this case, the heater is turned on and off and correspondingly fan will be turned off or on. So whenever heater is on, obviously fan has to be turned off. These are the waveforms corresponding to turning on the heater on and off, and exactly opposite for fan. So obviously whenever the heater is on, fan has to be turned off and vice versa. Now let us consider that we are supposed to design an electronic circuit to be used for testing the thermal cycle fatigue. So the set points given to us are hot point or hot temperature 16 degrees Celsius and ambient temperature as 27 degrees Celsius. We are using thermocouple as a temperature sensor whose output is 0.1 millivolt per degree Celsius. So at 1600 degree centigrade, thermocouple output will be 160 millivolt and at 27 degrees Celsius it will be 2.7 millivolts. So we have to amplify this thermocouple output. Let us consider we are considering a gain of maybe 50, right? So because of this 50 gain at 1600 degrees Celsius, the thermocouple amplified output will be 160 millivolt into 50, which comes out as 8 volts, and at 27 degrees Celsius the output will be 2.7 millivolt into 50, which is 135 millivolts. Now let us draw a circuit diagram. So this is similar to the circuit diagram that we have discussed in temperature control circuit. So here the thermocouple sensor output is given to inverting terminal of lower op amp and non-inverting terminal of upper op amp. So whenever temperature is less than 27 degrees Celsius, the temperature sensor output will be less than 135 millivolts, amplified output I am talking about. So we have to maintain this reference voltage output at around 135 millivolts and the reference voltage 1 output at 8 volts. So whenever temperature is less than 27 degrees Celsius, then inverting terminal output of lower op amp will be less than the reference voltage of 135 millivolt. Hence, the op amp output will be high, which is connected to the set input of the flip flop. So set input we are considering as high, that means 1 in this case. Now because this particular non-inverting terminal output voltage is less than the reference voltage of 8 volts, let me correct it, 8 volts. So op amp 1 output will be 0 and hence R value is 0. Now S value is 1, R value is 0, hence Q will be 1. This output will be high, and because that output is high, so the heater will be turned on. For that we will discuss this particular truth table of RS flip flop. So here you observe that whenever S input is 1, R input is 0, then the next step follows the previous step. So we are assuming that heater is already on, hence it will continue to be on. Coming back to the circuit, now as the heater is on, temperature will go on increasing. At some point the temperature will exceed 1600 degrees Celsius and the thermocouple output corresponding to 1600 degrees Celsius will be 8 volts. So as soon as the temperature exceeds this particular 8 volts, which is the reference voltage 1 of op amp 1, then non-inverting terminal voltage will be greater than the inverting terminal voltage and hence R value will be 1. Now at that time, this particular voltage, which is greater than 8 volt, is applied to the inverting terminal of op amp 2, and in that case this inverting voltage will be greater than non-inverting terminal voltage of op amp 2 and hence this output will be low. So now R is 1, S is 0 and hence Q will be 0, so which will disconnect the switch because the low voltage will be applied to the gate terminal of MOSFET and hence heater will turn off. Now in this case, because Q is low at that time, Q bar will be 1. Whenever Q is 1, Q bar has to be 0, and whenever Q is 0, Q bar will be 1, right? So the same circuit is used to operate two switches. One of them is used to turn on or turn off the heater. Similarly, you can connect this output of Q bar to another MOSFET switch. Which is used to turn on or turn off the fan, so that whenever Q is on, Q bar will be obviously off. So whenever heater is on, fan will automatically remain in off state, and whenever Q is 0, Q bar will be 1. That means heater off, then fan on. Now what remains in this circuit is reference voltage RV2 and RV1 calculation. So because it forms a voltage divider, let us consider VCC as 12 volts. Then RV2 we have to set at 135 millivolts and RV1 we have to set at 8 volts. So calculation of RV1 is very simple. RV1 is 8 volt. So VCC is 12 volts and RV1 will be calculated as 8 is equal to R4 upon R4 plus R3, let me call it as R only, into VCC, that is 12 volts. So this is nothing but 8 divided by 12 will be equal to R4 upon R, which is the addition of R4 and R3. So you can consider R4 as 8K. So ultimately R3 will be 4K. Similarly, you have to calculate R1 and R2 values. So this forms your circuit for testing the thermal cycle fatigue.